All right, well, here's the latest project in the shop. This is some kind of Suzuki quad. I couldn't tell you what model it is. I'll have to look it up. I think I knew it one time, but anyhow, I got this from a real good friend of mine a few years ago, and it's a little bit rough looking, but it runs great. It smokes like a freight train, so I'm sure the rings are shot in the thing, but it starts up and it runs every time. So what's going on with it right now? You can tell I've got the front end jacked up. I started hearing like a clicking noise when I'd be driving it, and that should not do that. So if we look back here, I am pretty sure that the bearings are out on that side, and this side here got a fair amount of wiggle. That's a pretty fair amount of wiggle right there. That's, you know, that's enough to scare most people. This over here is kind of wonder the wheel ain't come off yet. So again, guys, if you've seen my other videos, you know I'm no mechanic. I just tinker. That's the name of this channel, just tinkering. Well, here we are about 45 minutes later, and when I removed the rubber cap, there's a castle nut and a cotter pin. Pulled those off, and bearings came out. So the bearings are shot. I was able then to get the hub off. You can see I've got the brake assembly torn down. There was one pad was completely gone, and this is the other pad. This was the good pad. So I need 2 pads per wheel. I'm sure the other side's just as bad. I haven't looked at it yet. But I had to heat up the hub assembly to get the bearings to beat out. And that's all that's left there. So I completely destroyed the bearings. So there's a bearing on each side of the hub. There's one on that side with a seal. There's a bearing on that side of the hub with a seal. The hub is still very hot. I heated that up with a acetylene torch. So I need 2 bearings, 2 seals, and 2 brake pads per side. And I'm sure the other side needs the exact same thing. I was able to locate the serial number is on the frame up under here. So I'll run inside, I'll look online and see what I need to order, get some parts coming. I've got to stop for the day, got to go run some errands. So I'll hopefully catch you guys up here. Hopefully parts come in just a few days. Well, here we are the next day. I went inside yesterday, took my the VIN number off this thing, looked it up. It turns out this is a 2003 Ozark 250, LTF 250K. And I got online, you know, with that VIN number, I was able to look up parts diagrams and part numbers for what I need here. I need 2 seals and 2 bearings per hub assembly. And was looking on Amazon, and they're not a real good deal. Amazon doesn't have much for selection anyhow. Looked up some parts dealers, you know, Suzuki parts, and the bearings were running about $14 for Suzuki genuine parts, and the seals were, I want to say they were about $11 per seal. I got on eBay, and then I was looking, and it was a little bit cheaper on eBay, guys that were just, you know, individuals selling Suzuki parts. And I almost bought them on eBay. It was going to end up being about $38 per hub. So $38 on this side, $38 on the other side. And I thought, well, just for shits and giggles, I'll call my local Suzuki dealer and see what they say. So the parts lady quoted me on Suzuki parts, and then she said, well, we do sell a kit, this Moose Racing kit. She said it's got everything you need in it, but it's all generic parts. It's not genuine Suzuki. But this kit was only, I think it was $13. So rather than paying $38, I ran out to my Suzuki dealer and bought this kit for $13. And it comes with, it's actually made to fit some Kawasaki models and a whole bunch of Suzuki models. It comes with an extra seal that I won't need, that's, you know, for something else. But I get 2 seals and 2 bearings for 13 bucks. So I picked up 2 kits. And if you guys are working on it, again, this is a 2003 LTF 250K, the Ozark 2-wheel drive. That is the part number for the hub kit that you're going to need. So I'm going to get that stuff pressed in here. I got the hub cleaned up. I'll probably put a little bit of grease on there. These are sealed bearings, so I'm a little disappointed I won't be able to pack them, but this whole assembly is just going to be prone to failure because there's no grease fittings on the hub anywhere at all. So there's nowhere to get grease into it. So I guess a sealed bearing would be the best bet for this hub. It would be real nice if it was you know, not a sealed bearing and a grease fitting in here somewhere, but it's going to go out again. Hopefully I get a few years out of it. I'm going to go ahead and start pressing this stuff in. All right, here we are. We got got this one pushed all back together. So first thing you do is you drive the bearing in, then seal in on the back side here. And I was just using a socket. Let's see, it's a Craftsman socket. Just pick one out of your kit that sits on the outside of the seal or your bearing. Same exact outside diameter. That's the most important thing. So anyhow, a couple of bearings in there, a couple of seals in there. There's a couple of spacers. One is between the bearings and one is out here on the outside of the hub that just takes up this gap on the seal on the outside. So I went ahead and I opened up a tube of cheap grease and I just crammed it full of grease. I don't see how it would hurt. So it might not help, but I don't see how it's going to hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that on there. And I'm still waiting on the brake pads. Were very expensive at my dealer. So I went ahead and ordered the pads online. Pads online were like 11 bucks for the kit to do both sides on the front. At the dealer, it was like 30 bucks for the kit. So I don't know. She said they're all like that. Seems like about every bike they sell, you can't find brake pads cheaper than 30 bucks per, you know, for front end on a Quattro, whatever. Anyhow, I'll be waiting on the brake pads for a couple days, but I'll show you that when they come in too. Well, we got the hub slid back on there. The only thing you got to really kind of keep in mind when you're doing that is that spacer between the two bearings. You want to make sure that it's lined up with the bearings as you slide it on the shaft. Slid right back on there pretty good, pretty easy. Don't forget your washer, castle nut, and your cotter pin. And as soon as those brake pads come in, I'll finish the assembly up here. I'm going to go ahead and tear the wheel off and everything on the other side and do the same thing over there. Well, here we are a couple days later. Brake pads came in. I got the cheapies off Amazon, and they're pretty easy to change out. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's two Allen-headed pins. They're bolts with a real long shaft on the end of them. Act like a pin to hold the shoes in there. And then there's two bolts that secure the caliper. And that's pretty much it. So I'll get that wheel put on there. We'll take it for a little test drive. Let's go for a test drive. Well, brakes work. Okay guys, well, that's a quick little test drive there, but no sense in me dragging you around everywhere. When I had that jacked up, I was wiggling on that tire, and it's solid now. So I think we're in pretty good shape. So if I helped you with this video, click that thumbs up button. You want to see more videos of me working on stuff out here in the garage? Click the subscribe button. Until the next video, keep on tinkering.